Hello and thanks for joining me. My name is Bree, and today I thought I would offer some stretches and poses that aim to target the low back and hopefully provide some relief. So if you'd like to grab a couple props to assist you in some of these stretches, I'm sitting up on a bolster, which can help support my spine and low back as my hips tend to be a little bit tight. And so this can help create some space and opening and help create some length in the spine. I have the tendency to kind of round forward and have this posterior tilt in my pelvis. And so sitting up on the bolster helps me to sit up a little bit taller and maintain the natural curvature in my spine. And if you'd like, you can also grab some blocks as well that can be helpful in getting into some of the poses. So we will begin. Let's find a comfortable seat, maybe closing the eyes down and just drawing our attention inward. Noticing the breath, letting it weave in and out. Maybe tracing the breath in through the nose, down into the diaphragm, filling up, and then exhale out through the nose. Finding the circular breath as it enters in through the nose as you inhale, filling up the lungs and the diaphragm, and then slowly emptying as you exhale. A couple more times like this. Tracing the breath in and fully emptying out. On your next inhale, go ahead and open the arms, or open the eyes and float the arms up overhead. And we'll find some length in the side bodies. So almost like you're climbing up a rope, we're gonna grab for that rope at the top and then pulling down and then really reaching with that other arm and then pulling down. And so finding some length on both sides of the body. Really reaching and wrapping your hand around and switching sides. Starting to create some space and some opening in the ribs. Good. And then we will meet in center. And if you're sitting up on a bolster or a prop, we're going to move that out from underneath us and we'll come into a wide leg Janu Shirshasana. So we're going to extend the left leg long and bring the right foot in towards the pelvis. And we'll bring our bolster either on the outside or the inside of our leg. And we're going to find some length on both sides of the torso. And on an exhale, we're going to drop our elbow to the bolster and lean over towards the left. And depending on where your body is today, you can stay here. I find it really supportive to add a block and just be able to rest my head in my hand and just finding some length in the right side body here. In this right hand, it can stay planted on the knee. Maybe you'd like to wrap it around and take a bit of a bind. An option to always relax the arm overhead. And so finding where you'd like to stay for a moment. And seeing maybe if you can spiral the heart up towards the ceiling. And just breathing into the right side of the body. Noticing a stretch from the right hip all the way up towards the lat. Taking a couple more rounds of breath here. Really steeping in. And then on your next inhale, we'll lift ourselves up and switch sides. So we'll extend that right leg long, left foot comes in towards the pelvis, and we'll bring our props over towards the other side. So setting up your supports, taking a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, reaching over towards the right. Maybe head rests in the right hand, and rooting down through both sit bones. Sometimes as we reach over, we have the tendency to lift up, and seeing if we can really ground down through both sit bones. And that extended leg, the foot on the extended leg, can be relaxed. It doesn't have to be flexed or held in a certain way. It can kind of just hang out. And again, seeing if you can find some opening in the chest, maybe spiraling that heart up just slightly. And staying here for a few rounds of breath. See with every exhale if you can find some more release in the back. Maybe welcoming a hum or a sigh as you exhale. Just sending little love notes to our nervous system. One more full round of breath here. And then inhaling yourself up to center. And we'll move our props out of our way. And we'll come to sitting on the shins. So finding your way, maybe crossing the ankles and rolling yourself over. Hips to heels as we find a seat on the shins. Taking a moment here to let the sand settle. Just find some recalibration. On your next inhale, float the arms up overhead and come into Kali Mudra. So pointer fingers and thumb are going to be out, and then we're going to interlace the rest of the fingers. So Charlie's Angels, Kali Mudra. Slight bend in the elbows, fingers or pointer fingers and thumb reaching up. Finding length in the spine. And then inhale, lift the hips up slightly and shift them over towards the right. So coming to sit on the right sit bone and then reaching the hands over towards the left. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. And really feeling a nice opening here from the right hip all the way up the right side of the body. And maybe seeing if you can shine the heart up slightly. And if it feels more comfortable for you, you can release the left hand down and maybe press the left hand away as you reach over towards the left with the right fingertips. Really finding some traction here on the right side. Inhale, inflate. And exhale, find a descension. Maybe finding a slight pulse here as you inhale. Find some lift, and exhale, descend. Riding the breath. And then maybe you stay. On your next exhale, come around and we'll meet in child's pose. So arms wrapped behind, head rests down on the floor. And if you do have some concerns with the low back, keeping the knees close together, as this can help support the low back instead of the knees wide, which can cause us to dump into the low back. Full round of breath in and sigh it out. Plant the hands in front and roll yourself back up into a seated position on the shins. And we'll move into that lateral stretch on the other side. Inhale, arms go wide, float up. Interlace the hands, coming into Kali Mudra. Roll the shoulders down the back. Chest comes forward. Slight bend in the elbows. And then lift the hips up and shift them over towards the left. So arms, hands reach towards the right as the hips sit over towards the left. Maybe finding a slight spiral up with the heart. And breathing into the left side. Feeling a nice expansion and stretch as you inhale. And a gentle release and softening as you exhale. Option to release the mudra, planting the right hand and left fingers reach over towards the right. An option to find that pulse with the breath. Maybe inhale, rising out of the pose a little bit, and exhale, folding down. Inhale, find some lift. And exhale, release. And then maybe a moment in stillness. Inhale yourself up, wrapping the arms around, coming into child's pose. Full round of breath. Inhale, breathing into the back body, feeling it expand as you breathe in. And exhale, let it go. Plant the hands in front of you, begin to roll yourself up. And we'll make our way to a seated position and come into the original Janu Sirsasana. So earlier we did a wide-legged one. This is just the standard Janu Shirshasana, where we will extend the right leg long and bring the left foot on the inside of the right thigh. And so inhale, finding length here in the spine, reaching through the crown of the head. And then as we exhale, we're gonna take the left hand and grab for the outside of the right foot. And maybe right hand goes wide. And so finding a bit of a forward fold twist here. Maybe fingers tent. And your option to round forward, finding some opening in the upper back, or maybe seeing what it would feel like to kind of pull the heart forward, almost like you have a string and it's pulling you forward. Drawing the shoulder blades together on the back. Steady breath here. One more full round of breath in. And exhale, sigh it out. Inhale yourself up. And we'll switch sides. So extending the left leg long, right foot. So the foot comes on the inside of the left thigh. Rooting down through both sit bones and reaching through the crown of the head. Right hand grabs for the outside of the left foot. Maybe left hand goes wide. So rotating ourselves towards the left, finding a bit of a forward fold twist here. An option to explore here, whether you want to find some length in the spine and pulling the heart center forward, or maybe even seeing what it's like to round down. So feeling this maybe in the low back and even the back of the leg, the hamstring. Two more rounds of breath here. Breathing into the low back. And on your next inhale, go ahead and lift yourself back up. And we'll grab our bolster or a pillow. And we'll place it horizontally. And we're going to lay over our bolster. So the front of our hips and our pelvis are going to lay across the bolster. And our legs are going to extend long behind. And our torso and head will rest on the floor in front. So grabbing your bolster or pillow and begin to slowly lower your hips down onto the prop and then slowly releasing the rest of the body down on the floor. And head can rest on one side. And we can switch halfway through. You're just allowing yourself to be heavy here. Let your body meet the earth and to be held by the earth. I really like this one because I most feel like an instant relief in my low back, like there has been pressure just relieved from this space. And so really drawing the attention towards the low back and seeing if you can inhale and breathe into this space. And with every exhale, softening a little bit more. You can go ahead and rest your head on the other side if you haven't already. And just taking a few more rounds of breath here. And you're welcome to stay in these poses for as long as you'd like. This can definitely be turned into a yin style of yoga to provide a deeper release into these stretches. Staying here for one more breath. And when you're ready, you can plant the hands down by the sides of the chest and begin to press yourself up. And we'll come into a supported child's pose. So hips going to heels, coming onto shins. And bring the bolster now in a vertical position and bringing it towards the low abdomen, the hips. And we're just going to begin to fold forward. So on an exhale, begin to slowly round yourself down, dropping head to the bolster. Maybe palms are up. And just sending your breath to the back body. Feeling it rise and fall as you breathe in and out. And on your next inhale, go ahead and rise all the way up. And we'll come back to a seated position and close out together. Maybe bringing hands to heart center. And just checking in with the body. Maybe noticing some more space in the back, or even maybe some more tenderness, and know that all is welcome. And just to give your body what it needs in each moment. I'm hoping that some of these stretches resonated or landed in your body. And as always, take what works for you and leave the rest. Look forward to practicing with you again somewhere on your mat. Namaste.